Sean Fitz. Happy Tuesday evening, everybody. The Downforce Racing Series gets ready to take on the Kansas Motor Speedway, or Kansas Speedway right here under the lights on turn one for the Downforce Racing Series. Again, I'm Sean Fitz. Thanks so much for being here. Kevin Gunther, Caden Henry Oaks are going to start out on the front row. Then it's Dave Hunt, Ryan Patty, Mike Whitaker. John Zerke's going to start 6 tonight. Hand over fist, Tristan Perrine, John Anderson, Bob Lacavera, your top 10. And then it's Thomas Taylor, Jerry Bergeron, and Tyler White, Vinny Masteus are going to start from pit road here as we get ready to go green flag racing. Under the lights here, and there it is. Green flag is out. Caden Henry Oaks and Kevin Gunther get us rolling here tonight in Kansas. Side by side, they rush through turn 1 and 2. Gunther is going to try to maintain that bottom spot. Caden Henry Oaks is going to challenge on the high side. Right up against the wall. Oaks is going to try to shut the door, but here comes Kevin Gunther on the bottom. Ryan Patty's also right here in this mix. Dave Hunt is not let up either. As we complete lap number 1 for the Downforce Racing Series, and I apologize about that. We're not showing the actual race, but there we go now. Either way, you've not missed a ton of action. You heard most of it as Caden Henry Oaks squeaks out to the lead here. And then it's Ryan Patty. Kevin Gunther has fallen back to third. He's got a little bit of pressure. Dave Hunt, Tristan Perrine back there. Oh, they're going to make contact. Hunt's going to get into another car. Several are going to go around. Mike Whitaker's involved. He's in the grass. And that is going to bring the caution out here for the first time tonight. Dave Hunt making contact. I believe that was Tristan Perrine there on that outside line. Looks like Jerry Bergeron also involved. Either way, that's going to bring the caution out for the first time tonight here at Kansas. Lap number 3 for the Downforce Racing Series. While we've got the opportunity, let's quickly talk about the schedule here for the DRS crew. It's coming to an end next week. We're at Phoenix on 8-5, so that is next Tuesday night. The season comes to conclusion right here on turn 1. We appreciate the Downforce Racing Series allowing us to bring their races to our network here. As the pace truck is out with the lights on, and they're all going to get checked up. Keep in mind, we had 2 drivers start on pit road. That was Vinny Masteus and Tyler White. Well, this is going to work out perfect for them. They're going to get caught back up here. Really no real time lost. And we're going to re-rack them. We're going to step away here for just a moment. We'll be right back. You're watching Turn 1. Cars side by side, doubled up, ready to get back. Green flag racing here at Kansas on lap number 7. The pace truck's going to head down pit road. Caden Henry Oaks, Ryan Patty going to get them rolling on the front row. It's 14 car field here at Kansas. Looking for a little bit of a green flag run. Into the restarts only go, and the green flag back out for Caden Henry Oaks up front. Ryan Patty's been a hard charger here over the last couple weeks, and that is certainly showing benefits here, certainly showing up here tonight. Side by side with Oaks, right to the bottom of the racetrack he goes. Drives off the corner pretty strong. Both these drivers are out to a pretty decent lead already, 0.8 of a second on third place there of Tristan Perrine. And they're going to get out front. It's still a side-by-side battle here for that top spot. Oaks is going to head down to the bottom of the racetrack. Ryan Patty right up against the wall. Oh, Oaks is going to move up. A little bit of smoke coming off. That may have been a little bit of wall contact there. And just as we've seen every night here on the Downforce Racing Series crew, as well as the Sim 500 Cup Series, dirty air and managing that as a driver is some of the most important things you need to do right now in these Cup machines on iRacing. And you're seeing that kind of come to fruition now as Ryan Patty's going to head back down to the bottom, try that approach one more time. Not going to quite get there. He's going to slide back up behind Henry Oaks. But we've heard how critical clean air is here with these cars and these drivers, and managing the tires, but more importantly, kind of aero dumping on one another. And you may be seeing a little bit of that in early effect here. Tires, this aero package can hide some old tires. We don't see worn tires just yet, but especially if we see somebody break away from the lead there, as we saw Ryan Patty take charge on that outside line, found some success and able to get around Oaks before he got clear of him. Oaks looks like he may have had a little bit of a misstep in turn 1, because here comes Perrine right on the back bumper here, closing in. As Ryan Patty starts to drive forward here, now already 0.3 of a second out. And then looking back in fourth here, Kevin Gunther and Vinny Masteas. We talked about him starting on pit road. He fell back quite a bit, qualified well, about midfield rather, but started on pit road, and then that caution came out, allowing him to catch up, and he's knocking on the door of a top 3, currently sitting 5th. Jerry Bergeron, Tyler White, Thomas Taylor, Mike Whitaker headed over 5th to the top 10. And then out front, though, Ryan Patty's got that car on cruise control, already out to 0.5 of a second over Caden Henry Oaks. Tristan Perrine sitting 1, 2, 3. Take a look back a little further outside of our top 10 is John Zerke, currently running 11th. Dave Hunt running 12th. He was involved in that lap 3 caution, and he's back up to 12th. Then it's Bob Lacavera and John Anderson, your top 10. A little side-by-side action as they fan out across the straightaway here, or across the front stretch. That bottom line there is not out of bounds like it is at Daytona Talladega. These drivers can use that up if they'd like to. You'll see many folks trying to, it looks like Tristan Perrine really slow on track. Not sure what that's about. Remember, he was up there fighting for the top 3 role, or top 3 spot. Anyway, back to it as you see these drivers drive deep down onto the apron here at Kansas. A lot of drivers will do that to try to find any speed they possibly can, especially late in a race. You straighten out that tri-oval a little bit, often helps some folks make some track position up, as we see Vinny Masteas drive by Kevin Gunther. That's for third. The driver of the 70 car all but has the Downforce Racing Series Championship locked up here tonight at Kansas. Really, he just needs to finish the next 2 races, and he's going to bring home the championship. But right now, he's going to squeeze by Caden Henry Oaks, and that car is just set sail. Vinny's got something sorted out here. He moved up. That's going to slow him up just a little bit. Tried to dump the air off the 51, but Oaks is not going to be able to shut the door. And then we've seen Masteas really drive off the high line here. Several cars drive off the high line, including Masteas. Oh, then he makes contact. He gets arrow turned, and that's going to send Caden Henry Oaks sideways across the track. Everybody's going to split him, but that's going to bring the caution out. Wow. What a... Oh, no. We do have several cars back here after the caution came out. Mike Whitaker sideways. Tristan Perrine's also sideways, so several cars involved in this incident, bringing the caution out here on lap number 16. Let's go back and take a look at this. I think we saw the 70 get twitchy there off the bumper of Caden Henry Oaks, but let's take a look one more time. That's Kevin Gunther riding behind him in 31. Oh, no, actually, the 31 tags the rear of Masteus, and then that sends him sideways. Then we take a look back here with Tristan Perrine. Oh, nowhere to go. He's actually being pushed into there. That's John Anderson. And that's going to bring the caution out. Well, that is going to be a continuation of that caution there with the yellow flag coming out here again on lap number 16. Ryan Patty leads Kevin Gunther and Tyler White, your top three. We're going to step aside. You're watching Turn 1. They've got him re-racked and ready to bring out the green flag once again. Kevin Gunther on the point. Green flag out once again. We saw several drivers come down pit road here. We'll talk about that once they get this restart settled. Tyler White, Dave Hunt now up front. Vinny Macias on the outside line. Ryan Patty there as well. They're going to split them three wide. Tyler White's going to bow out of it. And Vinny Macias, Ryan Patty side by side. I would argue one of the biggest rivalries of the season, especially the last couple weeks, between Patty and Macias. And Macias is going to ride around on that outside line and fall in line here with Patty as they come across a stripe. And that's going to give Macias a little bit of speed as he's going to drive it off into the corner. Dave Hunt right behind him. And while we wait for these guys to get it sorted out, again, Kevin Gunther out front. A couple drivers electing to come down pit road, including Patty Masteus. It also looks like Thomas Taylor, Bob Lacavera, Jerry Bergeron, Tristan Perrine came down pit road hand over fist. Caden Henry Oaks, John Zerke, and John Anderson all electing to pick. Mike Whitaker also came down pit road this time by. Drivers that have not pit, the 31 there, Kevin Gunther, he's going to take the lead after not coming down pit road. It also looks like Dave Hunt stayed out. He last down pit road lap 5, and then Tyler White sitting 5th came down, or he was actually down starting on pit road with Vinny Masteus here earlier tonight. Gunther now out front, but new tires, Ryan Patty just behind him. Patty trying to make a move there on that outside line. Looking for an opportunity here to squeeze by our leader. But again, we talked about how critical and difficult at times it can be to make these passes through the aero package of these cars. Patty all the way down to the grass on the tri-oval. Not quite there to shut the door on corner entry, but he's going to drive deep into the corner and get it on corner exit. Ryan Patty is going to take the lead here, lap number 24. As we see our top 3, top 5 settle in here, that's Tyler White looking underneath of Dave Hunt. We saw these two have not come down pit road just yet. We got a car sideways. That was Kevin Gunther. He made significant contact to the outside wall. What were we doing there? I'm not sure. Was that? Oh, now Caden Henry Oaks is sideways. He's going to collect John Zerke as well. And that's going to bring out another caution here tonight. The third of the night at lap 25. And it looks like somebody got a little sideways there on the front stretch. We're going to look here at a couple incidents. This is going to be Thomas Taylor. He gets sideways off the corner and he takes a ride through the grass. But I believe at the same time, Kevin Gunther is sideways across the racetrack. Let's take another look here and find out what happened to the 31 as they come off the corner. Keep in mind, Kevin Gunther has not been down pit road yet tonight. Followed in the tire tracks of Ryan Patty. Oh, just got into the wall. It just snapped left or snapped right on him after he tried to correct to the left. And then just unfortunately, looks like Caden Henry Oaks was also collected in that. And then John Zerke also going to have some front end damage. Under caution here once again at Kansas for the Downforce Racing Series. Ryan Patty, your leader. Vinny Masteus electing to bring it down pit road. Dave Hunt, Tyler White, he's going to stay out. And it looks like John Zerke is going to join Vinny Masteus for this next round of pit stops. Under caution here once again, lap 27. We're going to step aside. You're watching Turn 1. here. Lap number 29. Ryan Patty gets him rolling. Tyler White, Dave Hunt, your top three. Bob Lacavera elected to not come down that time, so he has moved up to the 4th place spot. Tristan Perrine rounding out the top 5. Speaking of Perrine, he's got John Anderson just underneath him there. They're going to get that sorted off as they come out of turn 2. Ryan Patty, though, single file out front, already out to a 0.2 of a second lead over Tyler White. Right now, Ryan Patty shows he's going to be the class of the field here tonight if he has his way with it. But Vinny Masteas has driven himself forward quite a few, or at least one big time here, and made some pretty strong moves. The driver of the 70 is already back up to 7th. He came down pit road there along with John Zerke this last time under caution. Dave Hunt now right to the bumper of Tyler White. Tyler's going to send it pretty hard off into the corner. And following the tire tracks of our leader, let's ride on board here for just a moment with Dave Hunt as he works on trying to run down Tyler White. Caution going to be out again. Tristan Perrine sideways across the track there at the end of turn 2. Another caution out here on lap 32. Let's take a look and see if we can find out what may have transpired here. I see Bob Lacavera involved as well as Tristan Perrine. Let's take a look back here. Bob's in the grass here. This is unrelated to the incident on the backstretch. He's going to get it steered down. Hang on to it, Bob. That thing's all over the place. Now let's take a look here at Tristan Perrine, who again was sideways across the track out of 2. This looks like this actually may have started up in front of him. That was Tyler White. Got tight. Vinny Masteas got involved. And ultimately, Tristan Perrine had nowhere to go. And that's going to bring the caution out once again here. On lap 32, Ryan Patty in the lead. Dave Hunt, Tyler White, or Thomas Taylor, your top 5. Vinny Masteas running 4th. Tyler White's going to come down pit road. John Anderson sitting in 5th. We'll step aside again under the lights here at Kansas for the Downforce Racing Series. You're watching Turn 1. Time to get it re-racked here. Go back, really flag racing. Ryan Patty on the inside, Dave Hunt on the outside. Down in the restart zone they go. And the green flag back out here. Lap number 36. 1:04 to go here tonight for the Downforce Racing Series on turn 1. And he gets out to the lead. Then it's Vinny Masteus on the outside of Dave Hunt. He's driven himself back up through the field after coming down pit road, lap 26. And, man, I tell you what, that 70 car, he's been in the thick of all the action here tonight, both good and bad, but has certainly shown that he's got some pace, and he's most likely going to be challenging Ryan Patty here before it's all said and done as he drives around Dave Hunt on the exit of 4. Off the tri-oval they go. Vinny Masteus is going to capture that P2 spot now and start focusing on our leader, Ryan Patty. Meanwhile, Thomas Taylor, Caden Henry Oaks, your top 5, John Zerke. And then it's a 3-wide battle back. Yes, Bob Lacavera, John Anderson, Tristan Perrine all side by side as they go off into 3. I tell you what, despite all the caution so far here tonight, these guys have got it turned up and looking for an opportunity to make some hay in the early going here at Kansas. Back up front again, it's Ryan Patty, Vinny Masteus. These two, I would argue, the fastest talent on track here with the Downforce Racing Series, especially later in the season, and a little bit of rivalry. We've seen, we saw a little bit of an instance of that just a few weeks ago where Vinny Masteus got into Patty, I would argue inadvertently, and then Patty getting him back into Masteus about 10, 15 laps later, and that did not quite look as unintentional, but I'm not in the car, so who knows what that entails, and these things are really hard to handle. As you can see, Dave Hunt had to go all the way to the bottom of the racetrack to save that machine. That car was loose coming off the corner, and he fell all the way down the running order. Then now it looks like Vinny Masteus. What happened to him? He is off track completely. It looks like he may have had a connectivity problem, and he is now last in the running order. We'll keep up with that story. Another car sideways as Thomas Taylor is going to lock it down, and then they're wrecking again behind him. There is a significant issue with handling on these cars here tonight. Lacavera's sideways back down on the racetrack. John Zerke's down on the bottom. Tristan Perrine's also stopped on the backstretch, and this is going to bring another caution out. The 5th caution here in 40 laps. Ryan Patty leads. Going back to take a look here, and it doesn't. Nope, Vinny Masteus is still not out on track. Something must have happened to the 70 car. We'll continue to follow that story. We're going to step aside for just a moment. You're watching Turn 1. Green flag back out here. Brian Patty, Caden Henry, Oaks, Dave Hunt for top 3. As these cars look like they're a bit of a challenge to handle here tonight. A lot of off-corner control issues out of these drivers. Dave Hunt now working to hold off Caden Henry Oaks. Meanwhile, just back here. That's Vinny Masteas. He's back. Good to see him return. He's several laps down. Yeah, it looks like 3 at the moment, but he's going to have to race his way back. And, you know, now Vinny's luck is now this would be the time where we see a longer green flag run, as that is Mike Whitaker on the outside of that was Mike Whitaker outside of, who was that, Kevin Gunther, who was a lap down there. We've got a car down to the inside. I believe that's Perrine again. Tristan just struggling with the handling of his car. It looks like he's going to disconnect and tow back to the pits. That's going to leave Ryan Patty out front here. That's going to leave Ryan Patty, rather, not out front. He's staying there, getting the class of the field here tonight. We saw the 70 car making some pretty strong runs here tonight, but ultimately having probably some, I would assume, some technical difficulties here. And he is going to have a lot of ground to make up if he wants to try and get back up front and fight for the lead here before it's all said and done. A battle for second brewing here. That's Caden Henry Oaks looking underneath Dave Hunt as they roll out of 4. Hunt not allowing Oaks to completely shut the door. Still going to be hanging out on the outside line. But it looks like Oaks was able to get the run down that inside groove. You saw, we talked about it a little while ago, how important it was to drive down to the grass, down to the apron on this front stretch here in Kansas. Caden Henry Oaks making a pass after making that run down there towards the bottom. Mike Whitaker, Tristan Perrine, your top 5. John Anderson and John Zerke, the only other drivers on the lead lap. Hand over fist, Bob Lacavera is spun down the backstretch. He's going to get rolling again. And here comes Kevin Gunther, Tyler White. They're all lapped down, and Vinny Masteas back there as well. Ryan Patty in firm control. Let's take an opportunity to ride on board. We got a car coming down pit road. That's Lacavera. And we got another car sideways. That's John Anderson off their turn 4. And in the grass, Anderson spins here, and that's going to bring the caution out for the 6th time tonight. Getting ready to go back. Green flag racing here. Lap number 52. Ryan Patty, Caden Henry Oaks, Dave Hunt, Mike Whitaker, Thomas Taylor, John Anderson, John Zerke, hand over a fist. Your top 8 on the lead lap. Attrition looks like it's going to be a factor here tonight. It looks like it is difficult to get around this Kansas Speedway here in these Cup cars. The green flag back out for the DRS crew here. Under caution again, and John Anderson backwards. Into the turn 1 wall there. Bringing out the caution here once again on lap number 53. Not even past halfway here tonight at Kansas, or at least closing in on halfway here. We're at about 15 laps or so. 7th caution of the night coming to a close. Ryan Patty out front. Dave Hunt, Mike Whitaker, Thomas Taylor, hand over fist, your top 5. Into the restart zone they go. The green flag back out. Patty out front, free and clear, but it's going to be a 3-wide battle back here off into turn 2. That's Bob Lacavera Caden Henry Oaks. Masteus is also going to challenge right in the middle there. He's going to get clear. I'm sorry, that is not Bob. Who was that? That was Caden Henry Oaks, and was that Thomas Taylor? Thomas Taylor involved there, yep. As they roll off the corner, sprawled out here down the front stretch. Masteus looking to try to get around here. Mike Whitaker and Oaks, keep in mind, Masteus 3 laps down right now. I'm sorry, 3 laps down right now, so certainly a long way to go here, but working his way up into the top 3 fastest drivers on the track, or the top 3 drivers sitting in the, or top 3, rather. Meanwhile, Ryan Patty out front, free and clear by about a full second, or I'm sorry, 0.8 of a second over Dave Hunt. Caden Henry Oaks just set the fastest lap of the night at 29:39 out of Oaks as he looks underneath Dave Hunt to take that second spot away. Not going to be able to shut the door, though, here. He's going to move right up to the bumper, trying to get a little bit of a drag down the backstretch. He's going to make contact with the wall. They will take that spot away. Masteus now is going to work around Dave Hunt. Again, that's not for position, but that puts Masteus at least in the opportunity to maybe race his way back around the leader as we see John Anderson underneath Thomas Taylor side by side. Off the 4. Anderson's going to settle in there into that 6th place spot. Let's ride on board with a driver or 2. We got a small opportunity here to this green flag run. Let's ride on board Caden Henry Oaks. Actually, you know what? Let's ride on board Vinny Masteus. He has been on a decent roll here tonight. It looks like he had some connectivity problems, but he's back. Let's see how he's getting around Kansas under the lights here as he challenges Caden Henry Oaks. Oh, I say that, and then the caution comes back out. I do not see anywhere where that would have, that may have been a stage break. Unsure. Ryan Patty, Caden Henry Oaks, Dave Hunt, your top 3. I don't know if we'll see everybody come down here or not, but Masteus may have an opportunity to get a lap back. We're going to find out. We're going to step aside as well. You're watching Turn 1 Broadcasting. Back live here on turn 1, lap 92. Less than 50 to go in tonight's Downforce Racing Series live coverage here at Kansas under the lights. I'm Sean Fitz. Thanks so much for being here. Pretty decent long green flag run here. Last time looks like about 30 laps on the nose of a green flag run. Is only 4 cars only on the lead lap at this point. Ryan Patty continues to lead 7.5 seconds out front of Mike Whitaker. Dave Hunt, John Zerke, your top 5, and then or top 4, and then Bob Lacavera rounding out the top 5. Then it's Thomas Taylor, Kevin Gunther, Caden Henry Oaks, Tyler White, and Vinny Masteus, who has worked his way back up to the top 10 despite being down 3 laps on the night. Had some connectivity issues after running himself back forward, and able to get himself back into the top 10 after getting reconnected, but unfortunately just went several laps down in the process. See Mike Whitaker there heading down deep into the grass. That's Tyler White behind him. This is not for position. Tyler White right now sitting in 9th place, 2 laps down, while Mike Whitaker continuing to run on the lead lap, while our leader is in the middle of 3 and 4. A significant jump out there, and he is working on the bumper of the 31 at Kevin Gunther. Again, not for position. This is lap traffic here for Ryan Patty, who is putting on a pretty strong showing here tonight. Has been out front for the most part all race long. Showing he's certainly got the talent that he has been demonstrating over the last couple weeks. Looks like that is Caden Henry Oaks just behind him, riding in the tire tracks again. Oaks sitting 8th, and he's a couple laps down as well, so that will not be for position. I don't believe these drivers, last down pit road, the top 3 was Patty, Whitaker, and Hunt. I don't believe they were... I don't believe they could make it the rest of the way. That would imply that they could go roughly 80 laps on the fuel tank. I don't think that's going to be the case, so I expect to see another round of pit stops out of these drivers. And there, oh, the caution's going to come out. I don't see anybody sideways or anything else going on. Oh, maybe Henry Oaks there a little out of shape. Yes, I do believe this is going to be because of Caden Henry Oaks. Let's take a look at the 51 here, running 9th. Down through the tri-oval and off into 1. Oh, just snaps loose on him out of turn 2. We've seen a lot of drivers really struggle off corner exit, and looks like he may have tried to correct it, and it just snapped around. That's going to bring the caution out here once again for the Downforce Racing Series under the lights at Kansas. So, all that pit strategy I was just talking about, that's out the window, no longer really relevant because these drivers are going to come down pit road here during this caution. We're going to step aside for just a moment, and we'll re-rack it all with about 40 laps remaining when we come back. You're watching Turn 1. First round of pit stops going to shake up the top three. We'll see how this all plays out. Mike Whitaker, Dave Hunt, John Zerke, and then it's Ryan Patty and Bob Lacavera, your top 5 drivers on the lead lap. Green flag back out here, and we're underway at Kansas. Not sure what happened here with Ryan Patty. He had a pretty decent pit stop. Oh, it looks like his pit time himself was pretty long as everybody spreads out. Hunt able to take control. Whitaker back here holding off, trying to hold off rather Ryan Patty. Vinny Masteus up here, motoring his way forward. And now it's Patty alongside Gunther. That is not for position. Kevin, several laps down, actually, so at least a lap down, running 6th. And now Ryan Patty going to dive down into the inside of Dave Hunt, trying to take that spot away. Vinny Masteus, another driver a lap down, is going to follow the lead. Masteus going to tuck in behind Ryan Patty, trying to gather up some of that draft. Hunt's going to try to hold him off on the outside. This is just going to let Masteus continue to reel him in. But again, this is not for position with Masteus. Masteus is a lap down, several laps down, and these two, Dave Hunt and the 30 of Ryan Patty, are for position. So they certainly want to see them be able to fight it out without Masteus poking his nose too far in there. But he's been fast all night. He just unfortunately looks like he had some connectivity problems that set him back. Right now, he's just sitting back in that second place, watching the show go on with our top drivers here as they roll through turn 2 on lap 103. Saw Ryan Patty there lose a spot or two to the cars on track, but overall sitting second. Now he's going to have to work back around Kevin Gunther and Vinny Masteus while Dave Hunt is on the point, leading laps here. Up 7 spots tonight at Kansas. And able to maintain the lead at least right now with Masteus. Oh, Dave Hunt takes a hard left. Gets wildly out of shape, but able to collect it from the lead. That's going to give it back to Ryan Patty. Caden Henry Oaks also running him nearly up to the wall. I'm not sure what that was about. Everybody in front of this group here is a lap down, including Oaks. So that's them racing their way back around. Ryan Patty in the lead here. Back on 107. Masteus getting out of shape, and he's going to be sideways across the backstretch. That's going to bring the caution out. Everybody's going to avoid him. I don't know what happened here. Vinny may have just gotten loose off the corner off of 2. We've seen a lot of that tonight. Let's take a look and see what may have happened. Masteus moves up, tries to take the air off the nose of Kevin Gunther, and that car just gets sideways. That's going to bring the caution out here once again here. Round lap 109. Under the lights in Kansas for the Downforce Racing Series. Just a quick reminder, this group has one more race in the season next Tuesday night here at Phoenix. And that is going to wrap up the season. Mike Whitaker right now showing in the lead. I don't think that's accurate. Yeah, I think there's maybe something going on with scoring or something else happening there. Either way, we're going to step aside. Another caution out here, lap 108. Closing in on 30 to go. You're watching Turn 1. Going to go back green flag racing here with just right at 30 laps to go for the Downforce Racing Series live tonight on Turn 1. Pace car's going to head down pit road, but it does look like Mike Whitaker was in the lead at the time of this caution. Either way, I'm not sure how that shook out. We are back green flag racing, and it is going to be a dogfight for P2. They're 3 wide coming out the trial. Dave Hunt, Ryan Patty, they get it sorted out. Now Hunt right to the bumper of Mike Whitaker while Ryan Patty drives away on the bottom. It is a dogfight back here, basically a 5-car shuffle with lapped and lap down, or with lap down cars involved. But Whitaker trying to hang on, trying to stay in front of Dave Hunt, while Caden Henry Oaks, Vinny Masteas back behind him, Kevin Gunther as well. Oaks and Masteas head right down to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to gain as much momentum as they possibly can before heading off into 2. Dave Hunt going to slide up to the wall. And Gunther now looking to get by. Oh, he makes contact with Vinny Masteas. That wasn't even close to clear. We're going to stay green here as we look around. Everybody's going to cycle back in. Vinny Masteas, Dave Hunt has to check up a little bit to let Masteas back in line. Not sure if something's happened between these two drivers earlier in the race we may have missed or what's going on, but no love lost there between Dave Hunt and Vinny Masteas. Not for position. Meanwhile, back here, this is John. That's Kevin Gunther looking alongside Dave Hunt. Again, Hunt not for position. He is riding, or Gunther rather, not for position. He is sitting a lap down, running 8th at the moment, trying to race his way back around. Meanwhile, Mike Whitaker has run down Ryan Patty. Patty now slow up into the wall. Maybe some problems there with the 30 car. Whitaker's going to take the lead back here with, he's going to take the lead back here with right at 26 to go. Masteus out front. But again, he is a couple laps down here, so that is not for position. Meanwhile, Whitaker is running it out on the bottom. Ryan Patty going to look in the tire tracks. Masteus, Whitaker run right down to the bottom. As Dave Hunt gets loose, I think John Surkey got loose at the same time. They're going to save it, not bring a caution out. It is again a 4-wide battle here up front. That's Whitaker on the bottom. That is for position alongside Ryan Patty. As they battle it out with the two behind them, not for position. Again, that's Kevin Gunther and Caden Henry Oaks. They are laps down, not in this fight, while Whitaker tries to hold the 30 car off. Whitaker looks like he gets a little tied off into the corner. Ryan Patty's going to take the lead. And Mike Whitaker's going to settle in behind the lap traffic. Just 23 laps to go. Let's ride on board Caden Henry Oaks again. That driver showing right now a lap down. Let's ride on board from his vantage point as he makes the final laps here around Kansas. Closing in on 7 laps to go here. Ryan Patty continuing to dominate under the lights here at Kansas. Alongside Kevin Gunther. Again, this is not for position. Gunther a couple laps down at this rate. Or a lap down, rather, trying to get his lap back. And racing our leader fairly hard here while Mike Whitaker sitting P2 tonight. And Thomas Taylor sitting 3rd. John Zerke, and then Dave Hunt, your top 5. Kevin Gunther, Caden Henry Oaks. Bob Lacavera, Vinny Masteas, and Hanover Fist, your top 10. Across the stripe here with 6 to go. Patty on the high side. Right all the way against the wall. We saw Masteas eventually work his way around our leader. He's coming out of turn 2 while Ryan Patty is off into 3. That's not going to be conducive to getting that lap back if we were to see a late race caution. I think everybody would be good on fuel, so at this rate, Vinny Masteas is looking to book a 9th place finish. We talked about it at the top of the race, though. I don't suspect this will really change much of the point standings. I think Vinny Masteas has the all but ran up the point total enough to be in a safe position. Ryan Patty looking to add a checker flag and a trophy to his collection as they move off into 3 here. Closing in on 4 laps remaining for the Downforce Racing Series live action right here at Kansas. Out front here, 2 seconds flat, 2.1 in front of Mike Whitaker. Not a whole lot of pressure for Ryan Patty up back, and then he's got about a 14-second gap to 3rd place Thomas Taylor. No pressure really outside of Mike Whitaker. I think Patty is just comfortable riding in line here in the tire tracks behind Gunther. No reason to push the issues that come across the stripe to take 3 laps to go here tonight to wrap up the Kansas Speedway coverage. Looking around for a little bit of racing action, and there isn't any. There's a mix of cars all over the racetrack, but several laps down. I believe we've got only 10 cars, it looks like, remaining on track. And we only have 5 on the lead lap at this point. Patty closing right to the bumper there, 2 to go. He's going to be side by side with Kevin Gunther. Again, Gunther just racing for that lap back. This is basically just racecraft holding it in here. No harm, no foul. These two have kept it extremely clean so far here. Side by side. Down the front stretch they come. White flag is out one more time around here under the lights for Ryan Patty to win again here. The Downforce Racing Series. Again, no pressure out back. That gap grew to 3 seconds over the last couple laps. Mike Whitaker on his way to a 2nd place finish. Thomas Taylor, I believe this is going to be his first top 3 in the series. One final time here off the corner. Ryan Patty's going to dominate under the lights at Kansas and bring home the checker flag. Whitaker, Taylor, Zerke, he's going to wrap this up. He's going to race it down off of turn number 4. He's going to bring home this 4th place spot tonight. Dave Hunt is going to bring home 5th here. He's going to get it off the corner and down the tri-oval across the stripe. Then it's Kevin Gunther, Caden Henry Oaks, Bob Lacavera, Vinny Masteas, Hanover Fist, your top 10. Ryan Patty, he's going to get a chance to burn it down here on the front stretch, and we're going to call a night right there. The 30 car had a strong run here. Led the most laps, stayed out front, was able to hold off all the competition and bring home the checkered flag at Kansas. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. On behalf of the league admins, I'm Sean Vince. We appreciate you being here. We'll see you back Sunday night with a certain series returns to Turn 1, 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Good night, everybody.